Stephen Hawking once said, "Look up at the stars, not your feet. Try to make sense of what you see and wonder what makes the universe exist. Be curious." And being curious is exactly what we are being. Curiosity has paved the way for many advances in technology as well as in science. After the completion of the human genome, it has brought many ideas forward. Scientists have been curious how we can modify our own genetic information through gene editing, also known as gene engineering, through human embryos. However, the idea of testing on human embryos it does not sit well with many religious members. Regardless of the many benefits such as treating and eliminating diseases, saving endangered species, and or reviving the extinct ones, there are still many different questions that are being asked. And many of the members of the church believe that it is a form of playing God and they deem it unsafe. Gene editing actually goes back decades, back all the way to the 60s, ever since the discovery of the double helix. According to Mary Todd, a Harvard University correspondent, wrote an article regarding gene editing, and she stated that the reason why she was writing the article was because to bring light to the topic about gene editing and how it could potentially help cure and prevent many of the pre-existing conditions that many children are born with today, such as diabetes. George Daly also who is a dean and leader and spokesperson for the organizing committee of the Second International Summit on Human Genome, gave his own opinion, stating, and quote, "There are ways to prevent our children and our unborn children from being born with sickle cell anemia, cancer, or any other type of illness for that matter. We can extend their lives." He later went to talk about a 1-year-old who her name was Lila, who she was actually, diagnosed with leukemia at just 1 year old, and she went through this clinical trial for gene editing, and she was cured from her leukemia and now is living a full, happy life, and she just turned, I think, 4 years old this past month. Treating and eliminating diseases is one of the many benefits of gene editing, but it's not the only one. I think one of the biggest one is probably to help our endangered species, such as honeybees. Many of us believe that, there's actually been a lot of research done, and it states that honeybees have been decreasing in numbers lately, and if that happens, it could actually harm our food supply, since there's not going to be honeys to be pollinating our food crops, and maybe food could be potentially become scarce. National Geographic also stated that we can also help revive extinct animals and bring them back from extinction, and it could help probably restore our current ecosystem. But that's very far ahead, step by step. The University of Utah has actually published an article stating that gene editing can help with the production of drugs to help cure different types of illnesses such as HIV. We can actually manufacture them in a petri dish and make vaccines or medicine. Gene editing can also help with the production of food crops and or livestock, which can be very, very helpful in the production of milk and meat to help our current and growing human population. Not only that, but we can actually modify food crops to withstand extreme environments to produce them all year round. However, with many scientific advances, there are always ethical issues as well as concerns regarding gene editing, especially when it comes to members of the church. Those that are against gene editing believe that there are different ways to help unborn children live a happy life from pre-existing conditions. They think that there are alternatives other than gene editing on human embryos. They believe that if you're so concerned of your child being born with a disease, you should just rather go for a safer source, such as using a sperm or egg donor. The opposite side also argues that gene editing is unsafe. However, that has not been proven. It is a human embryo and it is not a fetus yet. And since there hasn't been any test done on a human embryo, this is also very, very, it's not been proven yet. There's also regulations that are set in place, and they believe that we should have even more regulations to make sure that the human embryo is being well taken care of. Another counter argument being made is that the rich would only be available to take advantage of this new technology. It is said that once it is proven to be ethically, safe, and that it works, that it will probably be very expensive, and the working or middle class won't be able to afford it. The National Human Genome Research Institute also claimed that the reason why the public is so skeptical about gene editing is because it will allow parents to customize the perfect child. They will have a say on the baby's hair or eye color, their height, and even beauty. The biggest obstacle that scientists are currently facing is that many religious people believe that will be a form of playing God, and that basically enhancing humans is seen as morally wrong, and it will be violating the Lord's will. Although there are several factors to consider when dealing with gene editing on humans or on animals, we must tackle all questions and concerns one by one. Of course, this is a very new concept, and there's obviously many room for debates. The religious community are always going to be wondering if it's a form of playing God, but we must reassure them that gene editing isn't just about building the perfect human being. It's about improving quality of life for those that are, living with cancer or HIV or any type of illness that, is it's not life anymore. Just like how we saw with Lila, how she got cured from leukemia, we can also potentially help many other children and or adults who are suffering from cancer to be cured and to live a very happy and, to improve their quality of life. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching.